John Bizimungu, a Rwandan who says he was born in 1941, phoned home in Uganda following the 1959 Rwandan Revolution when he fled the country, leaving his wife and 2 children behind. In Kampala, his first job was sweeping the streets, employed by the body in charge of the city's administration. He was paid 45 shillings per month. One day, what Bizimungu thought was the effect of not wearing the right protective gear as he worked landed him on the operation table with doctors trying to cut off his work boot off his right foot.
My foot started hurting so much. By the time Emmanuel came to wake me up for work, my foot was swollen. I couldn't take the gumboot off. I was rushed to the hospital and the gumboot was cut off in the theatre.
His hospital visits were far from over, and with an ailing right leg that continued to swell, he ventured into the shoe cobbling business, having picked up some skills.
With the skills I had learned, I found a place away from home and started repairing shoes.
Even as hope of him being able to provide for himself was restored, the leg got worse and he stopped working. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, Bizimungu's path crossed Dina Mbabazi's in Nanganda, Lukuli in Makindye division.
I was working with the missionaries and we are supporting people during COVID for the food. That is when I met John Bizimungu in that small house. Now, when I found him with that leg, he was really in pain.
The 82-year-old says that in 2021, Mbabazi, working with well-wishers, enabled him to meet the costs of 2 operations. One, to amputate his leg that had been ravaged by elephantiasis, and an operation for prostate cancer. Both that cost about 17 million shillings were paid for. His landlord also forgave him for the 2-year rent arrears he owed. Currently, his next meal, rent, caretaker costs and survival are dependent on Mbabazi, despite the fact that she lost her job in July.
40,000 rent. I was giving him every month 50K for the food and 200 for the lady, the caretaker. But that 200, my boss, they were the one who was supporting me before they leave the country.
Atuma Nabugabo looks after Bizimungu during the day and then leaves him with the task of serving his supper and locking the door of his single-room house. Bizimungu has a 14-year-old son who's currently in boarding school on a scholarship. Mbabazi says the landlord has issued an eviction notice for the 15th of November 2022 to allow for the demolition of the property.
The cheapest house is 150, which I cannot afford right now. Because if I have to look for that 150, I have to look for 50 for the food and 200 for caretaker.
With less than 10 days left, Bizimungu says he does not know where he will go, but is holding on to the same hope that has got him through life's toughest moments. Rita, Kanya, Mujuni, NTV Tonight.